Hello. So, what is dating like in the borough of Barking and Dagenham? Barking and Dagenham is one of the most foremost eastern boroughs in London, just as Enfield is one of the most northerly boroughs in London, and Hillingdon is the most westernly borough in London. Barking and Dagenham is one of the foremost eastern boroughs in London, and it encompasses areas such as Barking, Dagenham, Dagenham Heath Way, Dagenham East, Becontree, Chadwell Heath and Upney. So what is dating like in the borough of Barking and Dagenham? Well, a 2021 survey has the population in Barking and Dagenham standing at approximately 218,869 people, which is just up from 187,000 ish a decade prior. One thing you might become immediately aware of is just how multicultural Barking and Dagenham is. To be precise, as of 2021, 44.9%, which breaks down to 30.9% white British, 25.8% Asian or Asian British, notably Bangladeshi, 21.4% black British, and 4.3% mixed biracial of people in Barking and Dagenham are of a multicolored, multi-ethnic, black, minority ethnic race. And it's very visible. The moment you step off at Barking Station, whether you got the C2C or the London Overground, you will notice it. This kaleidoscopic array of colour and multiculturalism in Barking and Dagenham is well known. Say the word Barking and Dagenham to anybody in London, they'll tell you, yeah, very, very diverse. You'll find a lot of Asian couples in Barking and Dagenham, Polish couples, black couples, together, unified. They form much of the working class. For working class is what Barking and Dagenham is very known for as well. It's a very, very working class area. Dare I say, there are also swathes of underclass. Dare I say, there are also clear signs of deprivation, poverty, and struggle. You'll see it again as you make your way down the high street, not far from the station. Betting shops to your left, Ladbroke, Corals, William Hill. I do know Coral Bookmakers have one of their headquarters in Barking and Dagenham. Gambling shops to your right, fast food outlets, Dixie Chicken, Chicken Cottage, Domino's Pizza. Cheap retail stores such as the £1 store. And McDonald's, obviously, which is pretty much everywhere nowadays. So for cheap dates, yeah, you have your pick. You have your pick. And you can get away with cheap dates in Barking and Dagenham. You can. Because people going around there are accustomed to cheap or lower prices. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just the way they've grown up and the area in which they're grown in functions. This isn't Westminster. Barking and Dagenham is not Mayfair. It's not Hadley Wood. Yeah. It's not the back parts of Hillingdon. It's not Chigwell in the Borough of Waltham Forest. It's Barking and Dagenham. So it's economically much lower down on the scale. If you are young and wanting to date in Barking and Dagenham, you will never be sure of women of your race, of your religious background. The borough has easy access into central London. If you want to be a bit more bougie and upmarket, you can get the C2C, as aforementioned, into and out of London, and the London Underground line, namely is it the Metropolitan line? As well as the Metropolitan line. Yep. Maybe it's the Hammersmith City line. But yeah, a couple of lines here go into Barking and Dagenham. I mean, let's check that. So, you are able to move around in Barking and Dagenham. If you do stick to the borough, you can go to Parslows Park, which is used by many locals. I myself have visited Parslows Park. It's a nice place where you can walk and take the kids. If you have children, you can have a children-led theme at Dagenham Goals, the six-a-side football pitches, where for a decent fee, your son or your daughter can book a room and a pitch, play for an hour or so, come back, cut a cake, have fun in a booked out room, and have a football themed or sports themed party. Dagenham Goals is busy pretty much every night, and it's got good food and drinks at a very, very affordable price. You can also go to Mecca Bingo Casino slots if you're that way inclined. If anything, just to savour each other's company. Maybe you could just stroll around East Brook End Country Park. That in itself has Stratford and Leighton vibes to it, and again, it makes for an open, relaxed dating experience, minus the forced need to impress. You won't need to take your girl to bloody the Ritz or the 15th floor of the Shard or Hakkasan or Nobu or Sexy Fish. None of that. None of that in Barking and Dagenham. Dating is simple, no faff, no fuss. With the multi-ethnic groups and more importantly the values of the ethnic groups dominating, you can expect to see more traditional approaches to relationships in Barking and Dagenham. As people are generally poorer, the need for relationships is more pertinent as a safeguard to financial security, especially for women. Especially for women or people lower down the socioeconomic ladder. The problem is, the women and the men across Barking and Dagenham, how can I say this, are not as attractive as, let's say, I don't know, Westminster. Of course, there's beauty to be found everywhere. Every woman in some way has beauty to her. But, on the whole, women in Barking and Dagenham are not very attractive. There are high levels of obesity. Check the stats. That's not me making it up. They dress quite terribly. Of course, nobody's expecting somebody to dress like a supermodel or with a £1,700 Burberry Kensington mid-coat. Nevertheless, people dress in ways which reflect the financial options available to them. If you are used to women and men of other boroughs, for example, Bexley or Bromley or Richmond upon Thames, you're going to be quite disappointed in Barking and Dagenham. Yes. You will see it as a regression backwards on the sexual market value. If you have dated in Hammersmith and Fulham, SW6, W6, If you have dated crisp blondes in Kingston, or Surrey, London, as I call it. If you have dated nice black women in, say, Shoreditch, or better still, Greenwich. If you've dated homely women from the borough of Brent, or Harrow, Stanmore, Queensway, Kingsway, Pinner, then you will struggle to find much beauty in Barking and Dagenham with their bad teeth and their poor quality food. But let that not stop the people living there from punching on a level more apt and suitable for them. There is no university in and around Barking and Dagenham. The University of East London moved its campus further into London. When did they do that? A few years ago. There's also no good college of note. Nevertheless, because Barking and Dagenham has so much good rail links, never forget to reiterate, you can go, if not into London, then at least out into Essex, and you're not too far. In fact, some people would regard Chadwell Heath as borderline Essex already. There aren't many high-value men in the Kevin Samuels definition of it in Barking and Dagenham, and there won't be many high-value men willing to travel into Barking and Dagenham to date there or shop there. Barking and Dagenham women and men belong to Barking and Dagenham women and men at their level. An 8 out of 10 woman in Barking and Dagenham is probably equivalent to a 4 out of 10 woman in the borough of Westminster. A 7 out of 10 man in Barking and Dagenham is probably no more than a 4.5 man outside of Dagenham. No stunners, and if there are, they would have definitely been snapped up, or they would have left Barking. If you do find an above average woman and she's not taken, she could well be a single mother. That lighty mixed race girl from Barking and Dagenham has already been locked down, or is already a single mother by the baddest man in Dagenham Heathway, or by Devlin. Take your pick. So, with that in mind, the average rating I'd give for a woman in the borough of Barking and Dagenham East London is, drumroll please, 3.5 out of 10.